Rightio, so today what we're going to be looking at is translations and reflections. We're not actually going to be focusing on the rotations just for today. So our focus is here today is we're starting to look at this idea of a translation, or in other words known as a slide. And then we're going to be looking at this idea of a reflection, which is in fact going to be a mirror image. All right, it's what you probably would have done in primary school. So let's get started. Rotations, we're probably going to be looking at this one on Wednesday. Okay, so we're not going to focus on this one just yet. All of this will be in your test, and this is the last content prior to your test next Monday. Okay, right, here's our first example. So we're going to describe the translation. So that's telling us that it is in fact a slide. Okay, so for this here, we're simply just moving the image and sliding it across like a piece of paper on a table across to match up with the new image. All right, so what we need to be able to say is how we get from image A across to image B. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus on the vertices. Okay, so what we have here is we're going to focus on this first cross and go up to this second cross over here. All right, now all we need to do is just simply count the number of movement or places across and up, and that is how we are going to figure out how we're going to do this. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to go 4 to the right, and then we're going to go up 1, 2, 3, and we're going to go 3 up. Okay. Now we're going to write this as a little bit of a set notation, which is going to be as 4, 3. Okay, and we're going to put it in the bracket. So what this 4 means is it means it's going to go 4 up, 4 to the right, and this means down the bottom is 3 up. Okay, so I'm going to keep referring back to this notation over on the right because you need to know what that means here. So moving across to our second example, all right, we're going from A to B, so we've swapped it over this time. We're actually going backwards this way. Here's our crosses. Okay, so we're going to go this time up 1, 2. So we're going to go 2 up. That represents as a positive 2. Sorry, I needed to do that in second. I should have gone left and right. That's what I need to do. That actually goes down the bottom. Sorry. And then we're going to go 1, 2, 3 left. Now, if I indicate left, I've got to indicate a direction here. So I'm going to indicate that in a negative direction. Okay? Because anything on my x-axis going this way is represented through negative numbers. Anything going in a positive direction is represented through positive numbers. Okay? So just over on the side is if I would write something like this, -3 and -4, right? How would I describe that? Is I would say that this is in fact going to be 3 left, right? And the -4 represents 4 down. Okay, let's do another one. If we have something like 5, -2, all right, represented as 5 right and 2 down. Last one, okay. If we have something like -1 and 6, this represents as 1 left and 6 up. Okay. All right, let's get going. So moving on now. Now what we want to be able to do is translate the graphs. Okay, so in translating the shape to the coordinate of the grid and give a new coordinate. Okay, so what we want to be able to do is we want to be able to move point C to 1, 1. All right, so here is my point here of C. I want to move it across to the location there of 1, 1. All right, so this represents in terms of the X and the Y coordinate there. All right, so I've got my new point C, which is located here. All right, one of two ways to do it. You could think about the transformation which you've done. Okay, so you could think, all right, so how did I get from my original point C to my new one? Is I went down by 2, left by 1. So then if I transfer that across, that's obviously where point C is. If I worked across here, down by 2 and left by 1, so following the same pattern over to this vertex, is I would end up with that point there, which is going to be at 4, 1. Now that's one option you have to do each vertice separately. Alternatively, is you say, what's the relationship between the original vertice here at point C and to another point which you have? So it's up by 1, 2, 3, and 1 to the right. So if I just match that over to my new image, up by 1, 2, 3, and 1 to the right, is I got a new dot there. Now from that red dot which I've just drawn, my last one over in the top right is simply 1, 2, 3 to the right. So 1, 2, 3 to the right, and I end up with my last red dot there. Let's draw my image. I'll draw it in red. It straightens up. Okay, and I end up with my new shape there. Okay, let's move on. So here's our next shape here. All right, so we're going to move this time point D. Okay. All right, so moving point D, we're going to move it to 3, 4. So on the x-axis, we're going to go to 3, and we're going to go up to 4. Okay, so we're moving point D, which is up there, to this new point, which is going to be here. All right, so I could label this over on this side as well. So 1, 2, 3, and up 4, which is going to be here. So those 2 points correspond to each other. So I'm simply thinking, how do I get the original point of D at the top here? So here's my original one to my new point D. Okay, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 to the left, 1, 2, 3 down. So I'm going to go 3 left and 3 down. Right, so that gets there. So what I'm simply going to do, now that I've got that new point, I think it's easier just to model what's happening for the other line. So from point D is to find this vertex in green is I'm simply 1 to the left. So from my new point here of D, 1 to the left is simply going to be right here. How do I find my bottom right or bottom left point? Well, that is 1, 2, 3 down and 1 to the left from my green dot. So same thing, 1, 2, 3 to the left and 1 down. I'll put a little X there to model that. My last point is 1, 2, 3 directly to the right, 1, 2, 3 directly to the right, and that will model over there. Let's connect it up. Let's do it in red again, and here we go. Using a ruler. Right, in order to get that shape. Oops, I have a bit of trouble here. There we go. Okay, perfect. All right, last one we're going to be looking at is our reflections. Okay, so with reflections, fairly self-explanatory. Okay, so what you need to be able to do is simply look at the shape and just count how many dots you are into the line. All right, so for this one here is I count that for this point over on the left hand side, it is 1, 2, 3, 4 directly into the line. So for here directly into the line, it's 4. So if I go in 4, I'm going to go out 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, put a dot. All right, this one here, this new point is 1, 2 in. So I'm going to go 1, 2 out. Down here, directly in, 1, 2 in. So I'm going to go directly out, 1, 2. I'm modeling all the points first, and then I can easily connect them up at the end. Here, so for this one, 1, 2, 3, 4 in. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 out. And I think there's one here, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's kind of half been cut off on my image, which is a bit weird. 1, 2 in and 1, 2 out, like so. Now as I'm sketching it, right, mirror image. Okay, follow, connect your dots, and it should mirror image to what is happening above. So it's the same, but the opposite of what you see. All right, and that last point right there, back to the start. And there we go. Okay, so there is my shape, the mirror image this. All right, last one. If something here is 1 in, 1 out, 1 in, 1 out, 1. So next point, 1, 2 in, 1, 2 out. Okay, so I usually start with the closest one. Down here, 1, 2, 3 in, 1, 2, 3 out. So it's simply just counting up. If you want to start sketching it as you go, that's perfectly fine. So it's starting to look and take shape. You can see the next one, 1, 2, 3, 4 in, 1, 2, 3, 4 out, and it creates this little staircase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out, etc., etc. Okay, up by 2. Once you get the shape of it, some of you might in fact just be able to start to sketch it, and it should match up quite easily. And there we go. All right, so there is my reflected image there. So what I'd like you to do for today is simply go through, look at the translations. All right, so it talks about the translations here for each of these. That's in your booklet. Here are the solutions for you. Here are some reflections. Give these ones here a go. All right, some more transformations. We'll talk more about the coordinates a little bit more. I've made mention of that a little bit already. All right, and then we'll look at some coordinate stuff if you're able to get onto that. So there's plenty there for you to have a go at. All right, anything which is in relationship to rotations, like here, I don't want you to attempt just yet. If you want to try it, that's okay, but we will look at that stuff on probably Wednesday or Thursday. Okay, good.